So far, I worked throughout my life to be where I am right now, and find it difficult to enjoy my life. How do I do that?
Yeah. Well, we want you to enjoy. Did you hear what he said? So far, he's worked to get where I am, and he wants to enjoy his life. We want you to enjoy the life that you've worked toward, but we want you to enjoy it all along the way, too. In other words, we know it's a silly sounding example that we just gave. Esther was enjoying being in the car with her friend, and she was enjoying going where she thought she was going. And she was enjoying the idea of where she thought she was going. And then she enjoyed seeing someplace else that she might go. And then she enjoyed nearly dying as they got over into the parking lot. It wasn't like that, but it was. And then she enjoyed evaluating. And then she enjoyed meeting another person. And then she enjoyed meeting another person. If you can understand that things are always working out for you, we're going to make a really strong statement that we would like you all to hear. Things are always working out for you. In spite of you, in spite of the way you vibrationally behave. We showed you how all over the place Esther was, and still it worked out for her. And why? Because she really wanted that rug, and she's wanted it for quite a long time. Someone on one of the Abraham Now broadcasts the other day was talking about this sliding scale of emotions that we talk about. And you're rarely pure in a thought about anything. Some things you really want and you really doubt. Well, forget about those for a while because they're not showing up anytime soon. Some things you sort of want and you sort of doubt, well, they're more likely to happen for you because your resistance isn't very high. So there's these two factors. It's the desire and the resistance factor. And your emotions tell you all of that, you see. And so one time, in fact, this person showed up on the broadcast the other day. Over 20 years ago, two people who didn't know each other came to the same seminar, and they told two similar stories. A woman said, I'm an artist, I'm a good one. I live in New York. I've come to California. I want to go to Hollywood. I want to get a job. I'm good at what I do. But on the way, somebody broke into my car and they stole everything, my portfolio, and all the evidence of all the good work that I've done. And now I feel like I'm starting over. And we said, but you're the artist that has become. You're the artist that painted all of that, who created all of that. Most of that stuff doesn't accurately represent you anyway. It's good that it's not there. You are a different artist than you were when you did that and that and that and that and that and that and that. In fact, the law of attraction just removed it from your experience because that's not who you are and that's not the way you want to present yourself. And the other person was a businessman who was in his 60s and had lost his fortune through whatever was going on in the world at that time. And how can I begin again? How can I start all over with everything? And we said, you're forgetting about your vibrational escrow. You think it's the stuff you've gathered up in your little bag that's in your car, or it's the currency that you've gathered up that's in your bank account. It isn't. It's this vibrational escrow. It's this asking, which your inner being is all over. The law of attraction is gathering, 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 gathering. It's time to cash in your vibrational chips. But if you believe, if you keep practicing the thought that I worked hard, and what's the rest of that? In other words, what were you saying to us?
So I find it difficult every time I desire of like something good, to enjoy something in life. I have this fear that something bad's going to happen.
Well, it's a valid fear because of the way you're behaving. In other words, I want it, but I'm shooting myself in the foot. Tell me what to do. Well, don't shoot yourself in the foot anymore, but it's what I do. It's what comes naturally to me. I'm a worrier. I've always worried about stuff, and so I'm pessimistic and not optimistic, and so I just can't stop worrying. And we say, then you're done. Mm-hmm. If you can't hear that it's there for you, and people say, don't ask us to do that faith crap, that faith. And we say, well, what faith is wanting something and believing that there's a way to it, even though you can't see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it yet. But how would you have faith and not be an idiot? How would you not just be seen as stupid by people who are watching you have faith when you have no evidence? By understanding the laws of the universe, by understanding that you have asked for it and that it's there. And you know The easiest way that we can explain to you and to our earlier friend that it is there, you know how you know it's there? Because you feel so terrible when you don't think it is. If it wasn't a real thing and your inner being weren't focused upon it and the law of attraction were not already gathering the cooperative components, and if it was not already in the making, you'd feel nothing. There would be no vibrational tug of war going on at all if you hadn't created something. But the very fact that you feel doubt or worry means it's real. It just means you can't get it right now. It's real, but you're depriving yourself of it because you're looking at what is. When Jerry made his transition, some of you may know, Jerry used to hang around with Esther, walk around, hold her hand, stuff like that. Now he just haunts her. It's an eternal relationship. She's really enjoying it. So, see if he has anything to say about this. He was always talking about financial stuff. Well, we'll let that be for a minute. We'll come back to that. So when you want something and you're doubting it, now you've got a tug of war going on. But when you want it and you're believing it, then there's no tug of war. Your point of attraction is what you're giving your attention to. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, yes.
So we recommend a sort of marble game. It's stating where you are. You did. I want some things that I don't believe. And I really want them because I have strong negative emotion about them. So what the exercise is to try to relax enough. Sometimes is a better time than others. This is a good time because we're here to help you. Don't try hard at things. Do it with softer and easier things until you show yourself that you're good at it. But let's take this. So just give us a few more sentences to describe your concern. I want what and I feel da-da-da-da-da-da. Give that to us.
So I want to always feel that I had to provide others to make others happy around me. And now I'm at a point where I want to be the first. I want to practice self-love. I want to do the things that I like.
So I feel responsible to a whole lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm depriving myself in the process because I only have so much time.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to explain something to you that we know about all of that. And then we'll play the game to soothe you, to help you understand how you can have all of that. When we talk to humans, sometimes they accuse us of teaching selfishness because we encourage you to care about what you want. And we want to say something so strong that you never forget that you heard it here today. And that is, self-interest is a real thing. Self-interest is a real thing, and everybody has it. And you really have to become one. It has to be okay with you. You have to accept that everyone has self-interest and not let it be offensive to you, because so many of you have taught yourself that you should be in service, but when you are in service and resentful, you're not serving, because you have to be in joy while you are in service, or you got nothing to give. If you're not in alignment with resources, you can't get confused enough to help confused people become clear, or poor enough to help poor people become prosperous, or sick enough to help sick people become well. You've got to be a vibrational match to what you are offering to them, and what you're offering to them is vibrational leverage. When you live life and you think, and it's all right, you think, I'm giving so much of myself that I'm depriving myself. When you identify something that you really don't want, in the same exact moment and in the same amount of percentage, you create the other end of that stick. In other words, so what's on the other end of that? It isn't just that I want prosperity and I don't care about it for them. It's that I want us to all have prosperity, and I don't want my prosperity to be deprived while I think I'm taking care of theirs. Isn't that sort of what you're saying?
Yes.
When you say that, I want to be prosperous and I don't want to give so much of myself away to other people who are demanding things of me or expecting things of me that I don't get a big enough piece of the pie. Well, first of all, that can't be, but let's stick to what we're talking about. When you know what you don't want, I don't want to give it all away and I don't want to not get what I want. You have simultaneously created the other end of that stick. I want to thrive and I want them to too. That's what you put into your vortex. And we really want to emphasize the people you love are in your vortex. Anything you care about is in your vortex. So when we teach selfishness, when we say self-interest is a real thing, we mean the self that is you and this personality that is thinking and walking around with a bag of marbles that is really attractive. Your self-interest, you want to merge this self-interest with the self-interest that you and your inner being has established. And if you don't take the time to merge those two bags of marbles, yours and what you're thinking right now and your inner being's who's got everything that you want in mind, then you are the one that's depriving yourself of your fortunes, not the other people that you're giving stuff to.